Okay, so we're going to be doing piecewise. We are not going to be doing the step functions. Now, piecewise, define functions. Some functions cannot be described in a single expression, like 2x plus 5, because they are defined differently depending on the interval. So when x is greater than 3, things like that. Okay, a graph that is, a piecewise linear function is a graph composed of some numbers of linear pieces. So if we look at this, okay, so when we're looking at this, it's in pieces. There's one piece here and one piece here. So we have to look at this first. So numbers 1 and greater, then less than 1 up to 1. Okay, so the domain for that one would be from negative infinity to 1. For this one, it would be from 1 to positive infinity. Okay, these are my domains for this part, domain for this part. Now, the domain for the whole thing, the domain for the entire piecewise function would be all real numbers. So the domain for this whole thing is going to be from negative infinity to positive infinity. Yes, you can write it as all real numbers. And sometimes people write it like that. Okay, so let's look at this. For numbers negative or 1 and below, we're going to use this function right here, the 2x plus 4. So if I plug in that, so 2 times 1 plus 4, it's going to get me 6. If I do 2 times 0 plus 4, that's going to get me 4. If I do 2 times negative 1 plus 4, it's going to get me 2. Do you notice how it's going down by 2's? And then we have 2 more. 2 times negative 2 plus 4, that'll get me 0. And this one is last but not least. 2 times negative 3 plus 4 will get me negative 2. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to graph that. So actually I'm going to do the first one in yellow or orange. 1, 6. So I'm going to go up to 1, up to 6. And then I'm going to go 0, 4. And I'm going to go negative 1, 2. And negative 2, 0. And negative 3, negative 2. And it's going to keep on going on and on forever and ever this direction with the slope of 2. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do these. So negative times 1 plus 3 will get me 2. Negative times 2 plus 3 is going to get me 1. Negative times 3 plus 3 is going to get me 0. Negative times 4 plus 3 is going to get me negative 1. And negative times 5 plus 3 is going to get me negative 2. So now I'm going to do this one. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, do you see how this right here does not have an or equal to? So that means I'm going to have an open dot. So 1, 2, that's an open dot. And then 2, 1, and 3, 0, and 4, negative 1, and 5, negative 2. Okay, so if I'm talking about the range on this, if I look at that, the range never goes higher. All of the range is below this. I should do this. I should do it this way. All the range is down here. I did not mean to make it that color. All the range is down here. So it's below that. So that means that y is going to be less than or equal to 6. So that means it's going to go from negative infinity to positive 6. Okay, Then here, we do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to make a t-shirt. So this says x has to be less than or equal to -2. So -2, -1, less than 3, -4, -5, -6. So I'm going to plug in. So that's going to be 3. It's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7. So -2, 3. -3, 4. And it's going to go like, voila. Then, I should put x and y. X and y. This one is -3x minus 2. And the numbers have to be greater than -2. So I'm going to do -2. So -3 times -2 minus 2. So that's 6 minus 2, which is 4. -1. Oh, it has to be greater than negative. Yeah, that's right. Oh, why did I put 0? -3 times -1 minus 2. So that's going to be 3 minus 2, which is 1. 0. That's going to be -2. That's all I really need is 3 points. So -2, 4. -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have -1, 1. And 0, -2. And voila. Okay, so my domain on this. Domain. I can plug in any number. So that goes from -infinity to +infinity. All real numbers, or all real numbers. Look at this. We could go all the way up on y. We can go all the way down on y. So guess what? Range is the same thing. -infinity to +infinity. All real numbers. There we go.